Let's be real, we are all seeing this incredible explosion of large language models. I mean, they're everywhere. But as these amazing tools get woven into everything we do, a really critical question comes up. How do we actually keep them secure? In this explainer, we're going to break down the essential threat map for AI security and take a look at a powerful shield built to defend against it. So you've got this incredibly powerful AI. It can write code, it can analyze mountains of data, it can create unbelievable art. But here's the million-dollar question. Can you trust it? Is it actually safe from being manipulated or from leaking sensitive information? You see, the very thing that makes these models so powerful also, unfortunately, makes them uniquely vulnerable. As this tech spreads like wildfire, we're uncovering a whole new class of security risks that, frankly, our traditional firewalls and antivirus software just were not built to handle. So, here's our game plan. We'll kick things off with AI's new security challenge. Then we'll dive right into the OWASP LLM top 10 threats. You need to know these. After that, we'll introduce you to LLMGuardian, see exactly how it works, and then wrap up by looking at what it's going to take to secure the future of AI. All right, let's jump into our first section, AI's new security challenge. The bottom line here is pretty simple. What worked yesterday for security just won't cut it for the AI of tomorrow. LLMs think and operate in a fundamentally different way than normal software. And that means we need a completely new threat map to navigate all the risks. And honestly, who better to draw that map for us than OWASP? You know, the Open Worldwide Application Security Project. These folks are the absolute gold standard in app security. And back in 2023, they started this huge community effort to define the most critical security issues specifically for AI. This list is basically the foundation for using LLMs securely. So, let's take a look at that threat map. The OWASP LLM Top 10. Now, we're not going to go through all 10 today. That'd take all day. Instead, we're going to laser focus on 3 of the most critical, most common vulnerabilities that every single developer and security pro out there really needs to get a handle on, like right now. And coming in at number 1 is prompt injection. Folks, this is the big one. This is where a malicious user can craft a really clever input, a prompt that basically tricks the AI into breaking its own rules. Seriously, think of it like a Jedi mind trick for an AI, convincing it to ignore its safety filters or cough up confidential system info. Next up, LLM02, sensitive information disclosure. And this is where things get really scary. An LLM could accidentally just reveal confidential data that it learned during training. Or even worse, it could leak private information from a user's current conversation. We've seen this in the real world. Company secrets getting exposed because employees were using public chatbots. It's a huge risk. And that brings us to LLM06, excessive agency. This is what happens when we give an AI way too much power to mess with other systems. You know, plugins, APIs, external tools. It's kind of like giving a brand new intern the master keys to every single system in the company on their first day. Without super strict controls, a manipulated AI could go off and do some serious damage. Okay, so understanding these threats, that is the absolute essential first step. But just knowing the risks isn't enough, right? Now we need to talk about building a shield to actually defend against them. Which, of course, brings us to our next section. Let's meet that shield, LLMGuardian. This is a comprehensive, open-source toolset that was designed from the ground up to tackle the exact OWASP LLM vulnerabilities we've just been talking about. So what is this thing exactly? Well, LLMGuardian is an open-source cybersecurity toolkit built specifically for AI. It's directly aligned with that OWASP Top 10 list, giving you real-time scanning and monitoring to protect your LLM apps. And you can manage it all from an interactive dashboard. So how does this shield actually do its job? This is what I think is so powerful. LLMGuardian's architecture directly maps its different components to the specific threats that OWASP identified. It's a one-to-one defense. This slide really is the heart of it all. It's so clear. You've got prompt injection. LLMGuardian hits it with its scanners. Worried about sensitive data leaks? It's got a dedicated data component for that. That excessive agency problem? There's an agency module. It even tackles supply chain risks with its vectors component. It's a purpose-built defense for each specific vulnerability. Let's zoom in on that first piece, scanners. You can think of this as your first line of defense, like a security guard at the front door. It's actively analyzing all the incoming prompts, looking for those injection attacks. And it also validates the model's output to make sure it's safe before it gets sent back to the user. Next, we have the data component. Think of this one as a privacy filter or a data bodyguard. It's designed specifically to stop sensitive information from being disclosed. It sanitizes data, enforces your privacy rules, and helps protect the model from being poisoned by bad training data. And hey, remember that intern with the master keys we talked about? Well, this is how you solve that problem. The agency component steps in. It enforces what we call the principle of least privilege. It manages permissions and validates actions to make absolutely sure the LLM only does what it's explicitly allowed to do, so it can't go rogue. And finally, we have the vectors component. This part is all about securing the AI's brain, its knowledge base, the data it learns from. This is super critical for systems that pull in information from outside sources to generate answers. The vectors component keeps an eye on those data sources to stop attacks that could poison the AI's whole understanding of the world. All of this brings us to our final and maybe most important section, securing the future of AI. At the end of the day, how we approach security right now is going to define how trustworthy AI is tomorrow. And it all comes down to a choice between being reactive and being proactive. This slide just lays it out in black and white. On one side, without protection, you're looking at unpredictable outputs, potential data breaches, and all sorts of system abuse. On the other side, with a tool like LLMGuardian, you get validated outputs, sanitized data, and controlled actions. It's the difference between a risky gamble and a trustworthy, reliable application. Look, AI's potential is absolutely limitless. We all know that. But we're only going to get there if we build it all on a solid foundation of security and trust. So as you go out and build the next generation of AI, the real question I want to leave you with is this: how are you going to secure yours?